Matt here with a HUNDEGNI video analysis, kind of a surprise upload here with HUNDEGNI 3.4. While we have been used to in the past having these videos uploaded around holidays, this one actually came out August 2nd of 2018. And that's actually kind of special because this marks the 3-year anniversary of the Man Gled channel, or rather its first upload onto the Man Gled channel. HUNDEGNI 1.1 also came out on August 2nd, 3 years ago. We think that there might be a bit more behind this, and I guess I might go over that now before I do start playing the video. Because basically, if you remember, we made a previous video where we talked about how a user called Lucid number 16 joined our Discord chat, and how he mentioned that he was part of a different group of investigators with different motives than us, or rather they wanted some sort of different outcome perhaps. And so he gave us a bit of information but then left, and we for a long time have kind of started to think that that was like some person that was just trying to troll us, or just someone blatantly lying. And but we recently discovered, and I'll go ahead and put up an image now, because we recently found an account called Lucid number 4 on Twitter. And this account appears to be by someone of the same group. If this group does number each of their investigators, then we can assume that this is the 4th person to join the group. So he's a relatively older user. And so we tried to message this account to no avail, but it was actually made some time ago, and it only made its most recent and only tweet fairly recently, just before this video was uploaded. And as you can see here, the account ended up tweeting something very strange to the Man Gled Twitter account. It ended up saying Marpesia Coresia, if I'm saying that correctly, and that is a type of butterfly. And as of right now, we are not sure at all why he would have tweeted the Man Gled channel with this butterfly, especially since the only butterfly we've seen in both HUNDEGNI and in the original Z was the monarch butterfly. So this is very strange. Some people have started to think that perhaps this butterfly, the Marpesia Coresia, might have been the secret code that was found at 3.3 by the Lucid group, because as of right now we have not solved 3.3, so maybe they just recently solved it and that's why they tweeted that name out, and maybe by doing so they actually ended up triggering a video somewhat early. Although it's just as likely that for some reason Man Gled decided to upload on the anniversary of his very first upload, although why he didn't do that on a previous year is unknown. And before I do move on to this video, I should also mention that just the name that they gave of that butterfly is also very strange, because it is an outdated term for that specific butterfly. It's no longer called the Marpesia Coresia. It actually has a newer or more widely accepted scientific name. And so the fact that they're using a name that really no one would even use anymore is quite odd as well. So why they're doing that, I cannot say for certain right now. This entire Twitter thing has still kind of got us all confused, but I suppose in the future maybe we'll get some idea of what the direction of this account is, and if it's planning on making any more tweets in the future. Because it is possible that the account made tweets beforehand when we didn't know that it even existed, and but if those tweets didn't work, it could just delete them. They are keeping this tweet up because perhaps they are thinking that that tweet is responsible for the uploading of 3.4, which is possible, like I've stated, but otherwise we're just not certain what this account's end goal is specifically. So I'll go ahead and play 3.4 right about now, and then I'll kind of pause it throughout and we can talk about some of the things that we've found or seen. So if I kind of stop it around here, you can see a bit of what this video is offering. Basically, there's the center portion of the video, which seems to be recorded on a very old camera, a severely bad quality, I'd say even worse than what we saw in 3.2 and 3.3. Some people have noticed that it seems to have a vignette over the corners and perhaps some blurring in certain areas, so maybe they're trying to mask over something that we weren't supposed to see. Likewise, this outside of the video there's this large white border, and on the top portion there is this long odd red and black code, and then along the bottom portion there is a slightly smaller red and black code. And basically we originally thought that this perhaps related to a roulette wheel, because a roulette wheel obviously has a very similar color scheme, and also we saw the number 37 in that bottom portion of the video. And on a roulette wheel, if you count the zeros on the wheel, it actually ends up being around 38 cells on the wheel itself. And so the numbers were very similar there, so we really thought that this in some way had to deal with a roulette wheel. In fact, we ended up calling this the roulette code. And for the most part, I think I'm going to stick with that in the future, since it is just something that's very easy to memorize. It ended up actually being something completely different than that. Because if we look at a certain portion here, what someone ended up figuring out is that the red pixels that you see are representative of the number 0, and black cells are representative of the number 1. And if you look closely here, you'll notice that every single third column of pixels is an all red column. And so we kind of figured out that that was some sort of dividing portion for this code. It was something that just kind of separated each section from the next. So if you remove every single third column and you look at it with the red being zeros and the black being ones, you can end up with a binary message. So for example, we're removing the third column right here. So this first part right here would be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. And if you translate that from binary to text, you end up with the capital letter T. And so it was quickly realized that if you just keep up this pattern all throughout that top row, you actually do end up with a phrase in this video, and that phrase is "take my eyes away." Obviously a very strange message, but not completely unexpected from this channel, kind of very gruesome and morbid, fits in with the Man Gled theme. Also, it just kind of seems to give off a message that the person that's uploading this has seen something, and he wishes that he hadn't, and so he wants his eyes to be taken away, perhaps not to even see anything in the future, which could also be as gruesome to some degree. Some more details worth pointing out here are some strange robotic noises that are heard all throughout the video, and I'll go ahead and put some timestamps here for when those do occur. So far we have no idea exactly what these are for. If they perhaps are the key towards solving the bottom portion of the code, it's kind of difficult to say. It sounds almost like a voice that's saying something, but at the same time it's so short that even if they were words, they would hardly make any sense on their own. It's possible that they are just there for ambiance, since that kind of has been the case in previous uploads, where there have just been kind of like creepy noises, probably not with too much context behind them. Obviously I'm just speaking from my opinion there though. Other people do believe that every sound does have a purpose and that it's not just for ambiance. So take my opinion here with a grain of salt. Another user did briefly point out that at a certain portion of the video we are looking over the water, you can kind of see a strange shape which almost resembles like a head and even kind of a face within it. A lot of us are thinking that might just be an effect of the strange lighting throughout the video, but otherwise I cannot say for certain, because weirder things have been discovered in the videos before, and a face looking directly at the user is something that we have seen in the 2.x series, so a return to that is definitely possible, and it's just something that I think is worth noting. Especially considering, just even if it is a lighting issue, the fact that the light seems so bright on the surface of the water almost seems to imply that the person that's recording all this is using like a flashlight. It could also just be an effect of the bad camera or the possible vignette which has been added around the corners. We're actually going to post some of these videos to some subreddits that deal in videos and older cameras and kind of see their opinions on if they think that this footage is legitimate or if it was shot in 2018 and maybe just had a bunch of filters placed over it to make it look much older than it really is. And I'll probably add the update to that in the description below. So a big question mark at this point is going to be when the next upload is going to happen. We don't know if this upload on August 2nd is going to mark a change in Man Gled's overall upload cycle. Really, if this is the case and things are starting to change a little bit, perhaps going with his schedule in the very first series of 1.x, then we could expect that 3.5 was uploaded on August 5th, and as I'm recording this, it is the 9th of August, so that video has probably already been uploaded, but since it's a 0.5 video, that means it's unlisted and we can only find it once eventually we get a link for it. Now obviously we won't be able to know for sure that anything has changed until early October, I think around October 13th or 14th. Around that time, 3.6 should be uploaded if things indeed have changed, and we can kind of move on from there. Now if October 13th or 14th does roll around and an upload does not happen then that means that he only uploaded on August 2nd, and that we'll have to wait until Thanksgiving to see 3.6, because 3.5 will then be pushed back to Halloween. And once again, we can't view every 0.5 immediately, so no matter what, it's going to be a sort of long wait, but interesting nonetheless to see if things are changing up, and more so to see if the Twitter account of Lucid actually does have some sort of say in when these videos go up. Now another thing I should point out that's really odd is that at a certain portion of the video, a strange box can be seen. This is probably the best look at it you can get for the most part. You can see there's like a right angle and it continues down this way before kind of dropping off. And it's around the same height as both of the portions of the roulette code. It also lines up fairly well with the pixels, but otherwise there's really no kind of relationship we can see here. We don't know if it's some sort of error or glitch with the camera itself. I personally think that that might be the case because I just don't see how a box like that could even remotely be useful in solving these codes or giving us a message of any kind. Another thing that I really only realized while making this video is this one portion of the video where the camera almost seems to kind of linger on this tree. And in between the trunks of the tree itself, there appears to be something sitting there. And I can make out what that is. It doesn't seem natural though. It seems like it has very defined edges and faces to it, almost like it's some sort of box or crate that has been put in between this tree. And I'm wondering if that's some sort of actual clue that's been hidden out wherever this video is being shot at. Obviously, if that is the case, and that means that this video was not recorded around 2006 or so, but rather it was uploaded recently and that was put there specifically for us to see. Because one thing we're still debating about on the Discord is whether or not these videos are from 2006 and they were shot completely innocently by Brett and his friends before the tragedy occurred and Home got involved at all. We're not sure if it happened back then or if this was recorded just a few months ago. It's very difficult to say. But there is the fact that all these videos do have a very similar quality to them, and that it certainly appears that Man Gled is purposefully using different cameras in the 3.x series than he did in the 1.x series, as a clear sign that this is a different year that this is being shot in, supposedly. Now, while I should have brought this up earlier, I should just cover that this video seems to be shot around yet another wooded area, although this time we're actually seeing a body of water running through it this time. In the past, some of our users have pointed out that a lot of the plants we've been seeing throughout the 1.x series and even a bit throughout the 3.x series, they seem to be mostly around bodies of water, and we've been looking for bodies of water for a while now, and the fact that we finally do see one is an interesting kind of addition to the mystery so far. It seems to back up on the fact that this is all being shot within the same general area, and that we're not just seeing multiple different forests being haphazardly thrown together for these videos for no apparent reason. With that being said, I can't really see anything too special about this place. One idea that I do have is that if the box that we're seeing within the tree is of any importance, then perhaps this 3.x series is mainly trying to get us all to kind of understand the layout of this forest. That way we can follow certain kind of clues throughout it and come across this box. If that is the case, then this body of water does kind of help us get an idea of what to look out for. Also, with the way the video ends, we can see some sort of road or path and a fairly well-kept kind of lawn area with obviously still a bunch of foliage around this way and probably even more behind the narrator. So we are getting a layout of what this area looks like, and I think we'll see even more as time goes on. But for right now, I think that's all that I can really say about HUNDEGNI 3.4. I will put any updates that we come across in the description below. I'll also put the link to our Discord chat in the link below. I really have to thank everybody over in the Discord chat for all their help with this. We never would have solved the top portion of the code if it wasn't for some newcomers to the group and some older people just kind of documenting a few patterns that they were seeing with it. And so we're making a lot of good progress over there, and there's some interesting discussions all the time. So if you have any theories, discoveries, or you just kind of want to see our progress over time, feel free to join the group. We always welcome newcomers in any way that we can. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, Matt out.